We're back on the Rootcast. Today we got the panelists today with Mr. Jim Blunt, Doug the protagonist, Rick Tony, and I'm in the background, Sonny Blaze. Let's go ahead and get it on.
Okay,
All right.
before we start, I would like to express for our radio audience to know that we're expressing our condolences to the family of the late Captain Charlie Price, longtime employee of the Rochester City Police Department. In fact, he was the first African American hired by that department right after World War II. He was a Tuskegee pilot, had an impeccable record, never had no scandal or anything. Always upheld the law, did what he had to do. But XXI, that was the local public television station, did a interview with him in the later years, and he said when he got on the force during the urban unrest that we had here in 1964, he went out in the street because he was a plainclothes detective trying to get to the bottom of it, so people stopped burning down the neighborhood, and the state police arrested him. So they took him down to the Rochester Police Department headquarters, and obviously all the guys down there knew it, the officers knew who he was. They said, "Sergeant Price, what are you doing in here?" And the state troopers looked at him, and they said, "You a police officer?" He said, "Why didn't you tell us?" Charlie said, "You never asked me." It was funny. The state police was so embarrassed. It was funny. But he had an impeccable career, and it was a big asset in this community. But his ancestors go way back because his grandfather had a job working for the predecessor of Rochester Gas and Electric before we had electricity in this town. Lighting the kerosene lamp on East Avenue when it was a dirt road. It was big. So we losing some great people. They're passing on, and made his family enjoy the life experience they never had with a great father.
All right. And many condolences to what's his name, Mr. Blunt? Mr.
Charlie Price.
Charlie Price, long time
Rochester
resident and city police officer, passed away. Well, I don't want to say passed away. He just got done living. He lived to be 98.
Well, not only that, he was a Tuskegee Airman. This guy fought in World War II, I mean, that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, so many condolences out to him. So, Doug.
Yes.
Okay, I know I've been giving you shit about the Knicks. But, honestly, how far do you see them going in this playoffs?
They're going to exit in the first round.
Over the Hawks?
Yeah, I think they'll exit the first round.
How many games? Is it going to go 7?
Yes, it'll be a full series.
Is Thibodeau the coach of the year?
No.
You think Monty Williams in Phoenix too?
Monty Williams in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But for what the job Thibodeau has done in New York, and I think it's because he's the type of person that can stand up Dolan.
Yeah.
It looks like they could be onto something. And I'm not saying this year. Yeah, I'm not saying this year. But if it's true that Thibodeau can stand up to Dolan, I can possibly see the Knicks making a run at a title in the next 2 years.
What?
Consideration too.
Hold up, Mr. Blunt.
Take this into consideration too, Eric. Dolan is allowing Leon Rose to do his job.
Well, honestly, I think from the cries of the New York City crowd and the fan base and the fact that the Knicks are the biggest TV market, but for years they haven't been watchable, he might have had an epiphany that maybe I just need to shut the hell up and let this, somebody else do this for me.
That's what I'm saying. He's allowing Leon. Listen, when you allow people to do their jobs and just sit in the background and not micromanage, good things generally happen. And that's what happened this particular season. You haven't heard a peep from James Dolan. So, which means he's allowed Leon Rose and Thibodeau to do their jobs. But I think what happened in the negotiations with trying to hire both guys to a contract, they both had made themselves emphatically clear, if you're not going to allow me to do my job without constant interference, I'm not taking the job.
If only Jerry Jones would do that, huh?
Yeah, no shit.
No, but and I'm gonna be honest with you, Doug. The Knicks have been enjoyable to watch this year. Like,
yeah, I'm sure they have because they play defense and they bought into the system of what Thibodeau brought to the table.
yeah, and you know Thibodeau's system, it works because he was the assistant coach to the Boston Celtics in 2008 that won the championship.
That's correct. And check this out. You know who had a resurrection of his career?
What's the kid's name? Julius Randle, right?
Fuck Randall, Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, yeah. But
no question about it.
But the thing about Rose is he's been with Thibodeau every step of the way. It's just every team Thibodeau has coached, he's always made sure Derrick Rose is on it.
Well, he was with him in Chicago for a long time.
Because he knows the system.
He knows Derrick Rose. Because he knows Derrick Rose is two things: a true professional and a hell of a leader.
Yeah, and I saw when Derrick Rose played for Detroit that he possibly is in the best playing shape since that major injury that took him from being the best player in the league.
Right, and yeah, they took him away from being the youngest MVP.
Yeah.
Listen, Eric, you cannot. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot measure leadership. Either you have it or you don't.
Well.
Okay.
And
Derrick Rose has got it.
Oh no, Derrick Rose. If had not been for those injuries, I think Derrick Rose would have delivered 2 championships to Chicago.
And I happen to agree.
Yeah, there was no doubt in my mind that team was actually built to beat LeBron in the East. It was just a matter of Derrick Rose couldn't stay put together.
Yeah, once he ripped that knee apart, that was it.
Yeah,
because if you think about it, Derrick Rose was Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook.
He played a way that I'd never seen, and I'm pretty sure NBA defenses were like, what the hell do we do with this?
Yeah, because the guy was strong. The guy was strong. He's 6'3" and like about 210, 220, right?
Yeah.
Strong.
Mr. Bro, we can't hear you, Mr. Bro.
Quick, right before that knee injury, he was ungodly quick, and he had a first step that was reminiscent of James Worthy.
And the bigger thing is that you foul him, but the ball never is in the hand you fouled. Then it goes up and it goes in.
That's it.
I remember Derrick Rose's. I remember.
All right,
like,
I'm gonna have to pause y'all conversation real quick. Let me pause y'all conversation real quick. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. All right, speak so you, Mr. Blunt, speak so I can see if your microphone working.
Okay, is it working?
Okay, you're working now. Okay, all right, go ahead. My bad for interrupting y'all good conversation. All right, go ahead.
And then Doug, remember when Derrick Rose got traded from Chicago to Minnesota? That's where he got traded from, right?
Right, he got traded to Minnesota, and who was the coach in Minnesota?
It was Thibodeau. He was the coach and the GM after Flip Saunders had got too ill to do it. And I remember Thibodeau actually started to reassemble those Bulls because he got Joakim Noah to go there. He got Taj Gibson.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's another. See, I'm not Joakim Noah, who's a head case. That's another solid professional in Taj Gibson.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like I see Thibodeau basically takes care of his boys because remember he drafted all 3 of those players.
Yeah, but the thing.
But if I'm not mistaken, Gibson is still with the Knicks.
Yeah, I believe he's on that team too.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is why. See, Rose and Gibson are consummate professionals, right?
Yeah.
So when you can show these young guys a good work habit, they'll keep you in the league. Enough said.
Yeah. Because you see where Joakim Noah is.
Where is he now?
And Randall has had a hell of a season, I got to admit.
I did not see this Julius Randle when he was with the Lakers. I'm being honest.
No, you didn't. And take this into consideration. Randall has got a huge decision to make this offseason.
Well, he's going to stay in New York, I think.
No, but the huge decision whether it's to either sign the extension for $106 million or play out a free agent year and try to get a $200 million contract.
Well, being that he looks like he fits in New York, I think he can opt out and they'll re-sign him.
No. That's not the point, Eric. That's not how it works in this case with Randall. Randall would have to play next season as a free agent.
Oh, so he played next season off the books.
Right. Or take the security of the 5-year, $106 million extension.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then, folks, I know everyone is asking questions about, the Lakers and Clippers. I honestly don't think either one of them will come out the West. I actually like Utah or Denver or Portland.
Eric,
I'm calling for the dark horse.
Listen. I'm of the ilk in the grand scheme of things. I don't give a fuck. But I think the teams that everyone's too worried about is the winner of the Nuggets Trailblazers series.
And if
That's
you saw,
what they better worry about.
and if you saw that game last night, Dame doesn't have to break his back anymore. It's like they have a system down there where the ball can end up in, I say possibly one of 4 players' hands, and they'll know what to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe this year. And remember, Charles Barkley at the beginning of the regular season when it started, I think it started, December this year? Yeah, and he said he took $1 million, called his bookie on air and said, I'm putting $1 million on the Portland Trailblazers to make the final.
Wow.
So, honestly, I think he knew that they would be this damn good because I think in a 7-game series. Yeah, and I'm telling you, in a 7-game series. Yeah, and I'm telling you, yeah.
They are that damn good. It's just that, sometimes your big guys haven't been healthy all year for Portland, and now they're healthy.
Yeah, and because Portland's TV market isn't there, we don't see them play.
Nah, of course not. But here's what you got to take. Listen, here's what you got to take in consideration with the Denver Nuggets. Everybody was happy in the grand scheme of things that Jamal Murray got hurt. Because if Jamal Murray was 100% healthy, the Nuggets would be an extremely tough out.
Because of ball management.
Not only that, you have a solid inside-outside threat.
Yeah. But actually, I like Portland. I'm agreeing with Charles Barkley at this point. I like Portland.
I like Portland to make the finals myself.
I'm taking Portland to make the finals out the West.
Well,
out the East, if you don't pick Brooklyn, I don't know what's wrong with you because that is a juggernaut of a big 3 they got.
If they're happy, and I think they're rested up for the playoffs.
No, but I'm telling they scored 82 points yesterday, Doug.
Listen. I don't give a fuck. And I'll tell you why. Because they've only played 8-9 games together as a trio.
True.
Okay? Now, listen. The East, as far as I'm concerned, is both conferences is wide open. Period.
So,
okay. Period.
So what's your final prediction, Doug?
In the West, though, I do like Portland making the final.
Okay, and give me a wild card out the East. Doug?
I'm going to say just for the screw of it, the Atlanta Hawks.
Actually, that could happen because if the Hawks get out this round, they're in the conference final.
If they get out this round, I don't think they're going to go past the next one. No.
If they can get past the second round, that'll be a tough out.
No, and I agree with that. All right. So everybody knows we're in upstate New York. I am for another week. And we have this football team that's historic for all the wrong reasons. Now, being that I'm... Now,
hey, Rick Tony, they are historic for all the right reasons. You got to
Mr. Blunt.
You got to remember the ownership of the Buffalo Bills, the ownership of the Cleveland Browns, the late Art Modell, the late Ralph Wilson, and the late Wellington Murrah of the New York Giants. They are the current fathers of what you see today in the NFL. The consolidation of the league, protection of small markets with revenue sharing, and they had Art Modell because he came from Madison Avenue, New York City, to get the advertising, to get them big meetings. So they are the foundation of what you see now of the successful NFL franchise.
All right, well, Mr. Blunt, I ain't talking about them being historic for that. We know what they're historic for.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about performance on the field.
I don't mean to interject, but dude, screw that shit, okay? I mean, get real, all right? The ownership of all those teams mentioned, right? You have to remember, you need to allow the people that you hire to do their jobs, okay? And for years, and I mean years, Cleveland, Buffalo, whatnot, the Jets, and
Cincinnati.
whatnot, they've all been micromanaged, okay? When you micromanage, shitty things happen, okay?
Well,
Now, yes, my Patriots have cheated. First to admit that, okay?
thank you.
But taking into consideration, though, Kraft has allowed his people to do their jobs, okay? And when you do that, good things happen. Look at Tampa Bay this past season, right?
Yeah.
They won it all, right? Because the Glazers allowed Arians and the people that they hire to do their job. That's it.
And then you look at the shit show in Dallas where Jerry Jones hired Mike McCarthy after having him spend 2 weekends at his house.
Ain't that a bit?
Yeah, but behind the scenes, Jerry Jones was still sort of pulling the
What
strings
does that tell you?
That is Jerry Jones' team. That's it. Like,
in terms of draft picks. I mean, he was in the draft room telling the coaches who to draft.
He told Jerry, hey, fuck you, I'm coaching the team.
yeah, he said it.
And then after that, and then after he got fired, Switzer won that third Super Bowl with Johnson's players.
Yeah, and his system.
True.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take another break right now.
He wasn't putting up with that.
Hold up, Sony. All right. All right, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to close the show out in this next segment. Let's discuss the upcoming NFL training camps and how they're going to do it protocol-wise, because now that it seems like we're turning the corner with COVID, I'm going to ask the question is if the Bills training camp is going to allow spectators. We'll be right back. This is What's Going On in the Experience, the Rudecast on themainradio.com.